Okay, so let's see. Your last quiz, quiz 4, will be next Tuesday and next Thursday, and it will cover only 2 sections, chapter 3. So section 3 and section 4. So it may sound easy, but remember, we are gonna see lots of word problems in these 2 sections. So even if it's only over 2 sections, it will feel like it's over 4 or 5 sections, okay? So, and then after that, we'll just come back to the normal exam rounds. And then your homework, so your next 5 will be due 19th, whatever that is. Is it Monday? Next Monday night, okay? So, let's see, what's the plan for today? So today is what, 13th? So 13th, so today, hopefully we can finish 3.4 here. If not, then whatever, but we can pick up the pace later. Okay, now, one thing I do want to mention about this second quiz is, so here, many of you added the cost, okay, which end up at, I think, 24. Now, that's not the right step because you have to add the frequencies, not the cost. Okay, so you have to multiply each row and then you have to divide it by the sum of the frequencies, which is equal to 15. And remember I said on number 2, so I said multiple times, I believe, that you have to find the mean, median, and mode for each part. Okay, and there is an extra instruction, which is in part A, you have to express median in decimals, and for part B, you have to write mean in decimals. Okay, now, still, some of you didn't find the mean and the mode for part A, and many of you, not just some, didn't find mode and median for part B. Yeah, so I guess the extra instruction was written in a confusing way. I don't know, maybe that's due to my fault, but at least I have said it a few times during the quiz, but still some of you forgot. So sadly, you lost a lot of credit because you didn't find it, okay? I don't think you didn't know. I think you knew it, but you just didn't remember. So, and another thing, okay, so for this bonus problem, I think only 1 or 2 people got it. So the thing is, most of you couldn't remember that 5 tomato stuff. Okay, so remember 1 mile is equal to 5,280 feet, but I told you the shortcut, which is 5 tomatoes. Okay, 5,280 basically, but okay, so you have to divide that by 3, but the thing is, yeah, many of you couldn't remember this fact. Anyways, okay, so now that's quiz 2, Ryan. Okay, so today we're going to continue the section 3.3, which is about, we were translating these words into the math expressions. Okay, so the one thing that you have to be careful with is for the subtraction, depending on which word is given, you may have to flip the words or numbers, or you may not. Okay, so for example, when you have subtracted from, you have to flip the 2 words or the 2 numbers. So 30 and 5x, that needs to be flipped. But if you have fewer than, then that means this is also flipped. So you have 5x minus 30, but there was something else where you don't have to flip. There we go, minus. Okay, so if you have minus, then you don't flip it. Okay, and less than was also flipped. And last week I also said if you have just less, not less than, then this means no flip as well. So it's kind of like confusing things for subtraction. But other than that, everything is fairly straightforward. So now, on number 1, our goal was to translate the English into expression, or like in math. And now, we have to go further, which is, we not only have to translate each sentence into a math, and now we have to solve it. Okay, so be careful with this extra instruction. Now notice that here, we don't set this equal to 0 and solve because the problem didn't say anything about solve. And now we do have to solve, okay? So if 7 is subtracted from 6 times a number, the result is negative 25. Find the number. Okay, so now here, there are lots of keywords. So the first keyword that you see is what? Subtracted from. That tells us something, right? Okay, and then what else do you see? Right, times, right? Okay, and then the result is, that is another keyword. Okay, so now let's translate the conditional part, like that's the fancy name, which is the part in between if and then. So let's translate that part into math. 7 is subtracted from 6 times a number. So that it's obviously subtraction. Now the question is what? Flip it or no flip? Flip it, right? Yes. Okay. So this means flip. So what does that mean? So it seems like we have to have 7 minus, and then whatever that comes afterwards, 6 times a number. By the way, what is that? 6 times a number. 6x, right? Yeah, because a number is unknown, so set it equal to x, right? And so times means multiplication, so it's 6x. It seems like we have to have 7 minus 6x, but we have to flip it, right? Okay, so what do we have instead of that? 6x minus 7, yes. And now, what does the result is mean? Right, equal sign, right? Yeah, so this means equal sign. So equals to negative 25, yes. Okay, and so now the goal is obvious. We have to find x, right? So how do you solve this equation? Okay, so you have to remember, move all the numbers to one side and all the variables to the other side. Remember that? So move this minus 7 to here by adding 7. So you get 6x is equal to negative 32, right? Negative 32. Yes? Negative 18, okay, it's not negative 32, be careful. Algebra. Okay, so 6x is equal to negative 18, and now what? Divide by 6, right? Yes. Okay, so move 6 to the right-hand side by division. Okay, so these two cancel. So we have x is equal to negative 18 all over 6. Can that fraction be simplified? What do you get? Negative 3, right? Reduce it by 6. So negative 3 over 1, negative 3. Okay, so what do you notice here? What we have learned in chapter 2 also comes back. Okay, solving equations. So not only we have to know how to translate the words into math, but we also have to know how to solve equations, which was covered in chapter 2. Now, part B. If a number is added to 3 times the same number, the result is negative 40. Find the number. Okay, so here, let's see. What is the keyword? What is a keyword, basically? Okay, added. Yeah, so that is obvious, right? That means addition. And then what else do you see? Times, which means multiplication. Okay, so instead of a number, what do we have? How do you write the number? X, right? Yeah, it's unknown, right? Yeah. Okay, so it's x, and then added to plus 3 times the same number, so that's another x, right? And then? What does that mean? Equal sign, and then negative 40, right? So we have x plus 3x is equal to negative 40. Okay. All right, so now how do you solve this equation? Okay, so x plus 3x is equal to 4x, right? Yes, okay. So combine like terms. So x plus 3x is equal to 4x. So we have 4x is equal to negative 40. And then divide by 4, yes. Divide by 4, so x is equal to negative 40 all over 4. Can that fraction be simplified? What do you get? Negative 10, yes, reduced by 4, right? So negative 10 over 1, which is equal to negative 10. Okay. Yeah, so here comes another key concept, which is the like term. Okay, so that will appear quite a few times throughout this course. Can I go to the next page? Okay. So now, part C. When twice a number is decreased by 8, the result is the number increased by 7. Find the number. Okay. So here, let's see. Obviously, the number has to be x. Okay, that stays the same. Now, what do you notice here? What are some keywords? Twice, yes. What does twice mean? 2 times, yes. Okay, and number means x, right? And let's see, decreased by. What does that mean? Subtraction, yes. And now here comes that tricky thing, subtraction. So that means we have to worry about whether we have to flip it or we don't. Do we flip it or we don't? So no flip, yes. Okay, so decreased by means no flip. Oops, no flip. No flip, okay? So, and now the result is, so that means equal sign, right? And the number, so that's another x. Increased by, what does increased by mean? Added, right? Yeah, not multiplication. And then 7, right? So let's clean things up. 2i's x, so that means 2x decreased by, and then minus 8, so no flip, equal sign, number x increased by plus 7. Okay, so that's what we have. And now, how do you solve? Okay, how? Okay, so add 8 to 7. So that process means the numbers will be sent to the right side. So that means all the variables will be on the left side. Okay, so that means if we move minus 8 to here, we have to add 8. Then this is gone. So what do you have? 2x is equal to x plus 7 plus 8, right? Now remember, whenever x is on each side, you have to make your choice, right? Okay, which doesn't matter, you get the same answer at the end. So we get that. And now what's our goal? Move this x to here, right? Because all the x's have to be shifted to the left. How do you move that right-hand side x to the left-hand side? Subtract x, yes, okay. Why? Because this x means plus x, so you have to unadd, which means subtraction. So now you have to subtract x. So what do you get? 2x minus x is equal to 7 plus 8, right? Okay, and now we can combine like terms. So like terms. What is 2x minus x? Just one x, right? Yeah, which is x. And then 7 plus 8, 15. So 15 is the answer. Okay, any questions on these problems? Okay, so now, surprisingly, these word problems that we just saw is not the real world problems. Here comes the real world problems, okay? So the common goal is set x to be the thing we are solving for, and then set up the equation, and then solve. Okay, so now we'll see the real world problems. So let's look at the next one. People got on an empty bus at the first stop. At the second stop, 3 people got on. At the third stop, 5 people got on. At the fourth one, 10 people got off. And then there were 4 people left on the bus. Okay, so I guess the goal is obvious. How many people were initially on the first stop? Okay. So here, we need to set x to something. Set x equal to what? Yeah, how many people, right? So basically this entire question is x, right? The number of people who got on the first stop, that's equal to x, right? Okay, so let me draw a picture here. So here's the first stop. And then here's the second stop, and then the third stop, and then the fourth stop. Okay, so the first stop is equal to what? X, right? Okay, so now what changes into this X number of people at the second stop? Add 3. Do you see why? What does it say? 3 people got on. Got on means what? Addition, right? Okay, not multiplication. So what does that mean? This is equal to x plus 3, right? Okay? And now what happens at the third stop? Okay, 5 people got on. What does that mean? Plus 5, yes. Okay, so you add 5 to where? To x? No, you add 5 to where? This one, right? Because the numbers are keep piling up, right? So you add 5 from here, so what do you get? X plus 3 plus 5, right? Okay. So now go to the fourth stop. So what happens at the fourth stop? 10 got off, right? What does that mean? Subtraction, right? Okay, so got off means subtraction. So what does that mean? Minus 10, right? Okay, so you subtract 10 from where? From this one, right? Okay, so what do you have finally? X plus 3 plus 5 minus 10, right? Okay, so we are done with that, we are done with that, we are done with that. And now, there's one more information that we haven't used still, which is what? There were 4 people left on the bus. What does that mean? Right, that's the result, yes. And what's the symbol for the result? Equal sign, right? Okay, so you said what equal to 4? X? No, not X. Right, this one, right? Okay, so this whole thing is equal to 4, right? Yeah, so now what we have is X plus 3 plus 5 minus 10, which denotes the number of people left on the bus. That's equal to 4. Okay. So sometimes, like I said before, drawing picture might help you. Or maybe last week, I don't remember. Okay. So sometimes drawing a picture will help you. Okay. So now we can solve this. What do we do first? So add what? Right? So first, let's simplify the numbers. Okay, so like terms. So 3 plus 5 minus 10. What is 3 plus 5 minus 10 equal to? Negative 2. Do you see that? Because you go from left to right, right? So what do you do first? This one. So 8 minus 10, which is equal to negative 2, right? So this means the left-hand side is equal to x minus 2, right? Is equal to 4, and then plus 2. So x is equal to 6. People got on at the first stop. Okay. Now, sometimes people have excellent guessing skills, and they just somehow play around with numbers and they come up with this number, 6. Now, if this problem were on the exam or quiz or whatever, and if you have guessed the 6 people, will that give you the full credit? And the answer is no. Why? Because the simple reason is I don't have excellent guessing skills, so I tend to feel jealous to those who feel or who have the guessing skills. So I feel bad, so I take points off. Now, of course, that's not the real reason. The real reason is you didn't use any math. Okay, but at the same time, it's the fact that I cannot guess things correctly, so I tend to feel jealous. I'm like, you're way smarter than me. Like I'm just stupid, so that's why I have to go through all of this math. Okay, so try to use the proper math, okay, instead of using the guess. Okay, so now the number 4 will be a little bit complicated. So suppose there were 5 people and each of them donated some money to the college, Henry College. Now the college, in addition, earned $350 from selling the plush dolls of their mascot, whatever that is. From their total earnings, the college spent $1,250 as scholarships to students and $900 as renovation to a building. Now, this college's budget, which started at $0, is overdrawn by $250. How much money did each person donate to college at the beginning? Okay, so this looks terrible. So let's go for each sentence, okay? So here, first of all, what needs to be set as X? What's that? Right? So the money that each donor gave, right? Basically this one. That's equal to X. Okay, so now, let's look at the first sentence. 5 people donated the same money to college. From here, can you deduce something? Can we get something basically? Using X. 5 times X, do you see that? Okay, so what does 5 times X stand for? The total amount of donations. Okay, so let's first find that from the first sentence. Okay, so what does that mean? There are 5 people who made donation, and each person gave the same amount, X dollars, right? So what does that mean? X plus X plus X plus X plus X, or in short, it's X times 5, right? Okay, so this is equal to 5 times X, which is equal to 5X. Yes. So that's the very first thing that you have to deduce. Okay, so we are done with the first sentence. So now go to the second sentence. The college additionally earned $350 by selling their mascot. What does that mean? The second sentence. Plus 350, right? Right? Because here additionally means addition. Okay, and they aren't 350, so you add 350. To where? To X? No, add 350 to where? So this is my hint. We are going this way. So first we do this, and then do this, and then do something else afterwards. So add 350 to where? Again, first we do this, and then do that, and then do something else afterwards. So everything is a building block. So add 350 to which one? Which expression? So what's the current asset of this college at this point?
No, negative 250.
No, like current, like at this point, after step one, what's the asset of the college? How much does the college have right now? 5x, right? So that's how much you have to add, right? Okay. So yes, the college budget starts from 0, but then they go to 5x, and then they go to 5x plus 350. Yeah, okay. So what do you get? 5x, so now we start from here, and then we add 350, so we get 5x plus 350. Okay, so that's why I said everything is a building block, and we go from here to here. Okay, and then we go to something else. So now we're done with the second sentence either. Okay, so now from the total earnings, the college spent 1250 as scholarships. What does this mean? Subtraction, right? Yes, because this is opposite of earning, so that means subtraction. So you subtract 1250 from where? Yeah, this one, right? Yeah, okay, from 5x plus 350. Okay, so what do you get? 5x plus 350 minus 1250. Okay. And now, what else does it say? It also spent $900 to renovations. What does that mean? Also subtraction, right? Okay, so this means minus 900. Okay, so step number 4, subtract 900 as well. From where? Here, right? Okay, so what do you have? 5x plus 350 minus 1250 minus 900. Okay, so that's what we have at this point. Okay, so now we're done with this sentence. Okay, so now let's go to the last sentence. The college's budget was 0, but now it's overdrawn by 250. What does overdrawn mean? Negative, yes, right? Okay. So now, the last piece. What do you do with this expression? Do you subtract 250? No. What do you do? 5x plus 350 minus 1250 minus 900. And then how do you incorporate negative 250? So here the keyword is overdrawn by 250. So what do you do? Equal, yes. Equal to Negative 250, yes. Okay, so you don't subtract 250 from this. You set it equal to negative 250. Now, obviously, any college's budget doesn't become negative or negative money or negative dollars, but this is fake. So, okay, so that's the equation. Now, how do you solve this? Okay, so there are plenty of like terms here, right? So let's first simplify these three numbers. So what do you do first? 350 minus 1250, right? What is 350 minus 1250? Okay, negative 950, 900, yes. Do you see that? So first, what do you do? Subtract the other way. So 009, so 900. But since we are subtracting bigger number from the smaller number, we have to put the negative sign, right? Okay, so it's 5x minus 900. And then minus 900, it's equal to negative 250. Okay, so now this one, negative 900 minus 900, they cancel, right? They cancel. They cancel, right? They cancel, right?
No.
Are you sure? Yeah, right? Okay, so what is negative 900 minus 900 equal to?
Negative 1800.
Negative 1800. They do not cancel. Okay. Now, by the way, if you do cancel, you end up with 5x is equal to negative 250. So x would be the negative value. So what does that mean? Each person made negative dollar as donations. Okay, which doesn't make sense, right? Okay, so this is equal to negative 1800. So you have 5x minus 1800 is equal to negative 250. And now what do you do? Plus 1800, yes. Okay, so plus 1800. So these two are gone. So now, what is negative 250 plus 1800? So that's same thing as, let me go here. So that's same thing as what? 1800 minus 250, right? That's 1550, yes. Do you see that? Okay, so 1550. And then? Divide by 5, yes. So 1550 divided by 5. So what do you get? 3, and then nothing left. And then 1, and then, so is it $31? 3, right, 310, yes. Okay, so the answer $310 each. Okay. Yeah, lots of algebra here. Okay, a lot, and sometimes you may have to deal with 3-digit or 4-digit numbers. Okay, unfortunately, be careful. Can I go to the next page? Okay, so now, the one last problem within the section. Irene donated $10 more than twice what Heidi donated. if Irene gave $22, how much did Heidi give? Okay, so here y needs to be set equal to x. Set x equals to Irene or Heidi? Heidi, right? Okay. So basically this last part is equal to x, right? Okay, so Heidi is equal to x, Heidi's donation. So now, from here, can you get the Irene's donation? So first of all, we know two things about Irene's donation. One is what? She donated $22, right? Okay, now, at the same time, do we know something else about this Irene's donation?
$10 more than twice.
Okay, $10 more than twice. What does that mean? So first of all, twice means 2 times. More than means plus. So can you express Irene's donation in terms of x?
10 plus 2x.
10 plus 2x, yes. Okay, so now if you look at this picture here, I have 10 plus 2x is equal to Irene, but that's also equal to 22. So which two things must be equal to each other? That's equal to that, that's equal to that, so what has to be equal to what?
The 10 plus 2x equals 22.
Right? This one, right? Okay, so from here we can conclude 10 plus 2x is equal to 22. Okay, so now how do you solve this?
Subtract the 10.
Minus 10, right? So move 10 to here. So minus 10. So 2x is equal to 22 minus 10. And then, okay, so the right-hand side is equal to 12, yes. And then, divide by 2. So x is equal to 12 over 2. And what is 12 over 2? 6. Okay, so Heidi donated $6. Okay, any questions over these? Yeah, so you can see that this chapter 3 is harder, right? Which is why your quiz will only cover chapter 3, and that will be more than enough. Okay, so now, here is even bad news, even worse news. So now, so far, we had to deal with one unknown, and now we will have 2 unknowns. Okay, so when we had one unknown, what do we do? Set x to be the unknown, right? So if we have the second unknown, do we set the second unknown to be y? I mean, we could, but we don't. Okay, so we want to keep our x as it is. So we don't want to insert one more variable just because we have another unknown. So what do we do? Here is a strategy. Only one of them can be set equal to x. So what do we set x to be? X is equal to the thing we know the least. Okay, based on the problem. Based on how the problem is written. Okay? So there will be, like I said, two unknowns, and we will know just a tad more about one of the unknowns. For the other unknown, we know nothing, and that's set to be x. Okay? That has to be set equal to x. So now, what do you do about the other unknown then? So for the other unknown, we have to write it in terms of x. Okay, using the information in a problem. Okay, so x is an unknown, which is the thing that we know least about. And then the other unknown has to be represented in terms of x. And then write the equation and solve. Okay, now on some problems, it might be helpful to draw a picture just like what I did on that bus stop problem. Okay, so now, one useful formula that you may have to use on some problems is, can I go to the next page? Okay, now rectangle. So all of you have seen rectangle before. How does a rectangle look like? How does the rectangle look like? How does the rectangle look like?
I don't really understand the question.
That right? Indeed, yes, that's the rectangle. Okay. So now, any rectangle has two components. What are they? What are the two components of any rectangle? It has two things.
Short sides and long sides.
Okay, so short side and long sides, but what's the fancy name for those? Length and width, yes. Where is the length? Top and bottom, yes. And that's the width, right? Okay, so now typically people write L for length and W for the width. So now, do you remember the formula for the perimeter? Or how do you get the perimeter of rectangle? Add all sides, yes. So what does that mean? L plus W. Now, is that it? Do you add only L and W? What else do you add? Another L and another W, right? Okay, so it's plus L plus W. So by combining like terms, what do you have? 2L plus 2W. Have you seen that formula before? Yeah. Okay, so basically add all sides. That's the point of the perimeter. Now, do you remember the formula for the area? Length times width, yes. Okay. The common mistake that people make is people write L times W for the perimeter and add all sides for the area. Okay. Yeah, be careful. That is quite common mistake. So now we are going to use this formula somewhere, I believe, but not for number one. So in a day of work, Alex made $12 more than her daughter. Now together they made $182. Find the amount that each person has earned. Okay, so notice that here in this problem, there are two unknowns, right? Not just one. Okay, because there are two people and both are working, right? Mom and her daughter. Okay, so here, remember, what's the strategy? We can only set one of the unknowns to be X, but that one of the unknowns has to be the thing that we know least about. Okay, so now, based on how the problem is stated, what needs to be set as X? Alex's earning or the daughter's earning? The daughters, yes. Do you see why? Okay. So the key part is what? The first sentence. Alex made $12 more than her daughter. So we know something more about Alex, right? But we know nothing about the daughter's earning. Okay? So we know nothing about the daughter's earning. Okay? So that's why X has to be equal to the daughter's earning. Okay? Not Alex. So we know something more about her mom's, but nothing about herself. Okay? So that's step number one. And now what is step number two? By going back to the strategy, express the other unknown in terms of X. So the other unknown means what? Alex, right? So can you express Alex's earning using X? What do you get? $12 plus X. Do you see that? Okay. Because more than means what? Addition, right? Okay. So this is 12 plus X, not 12 times X. Be careful. Okay. So now we have used this information. So now we have to set up the equation. Okay. So now we haven't used another info, which is what? Together they made 182. What does that mean? What does together mean? Yeah, so both means, so write both in terms of math symbol. Yeah, two, but yeah. So two means, you kind of said it, someone.
Addition.
Addition, yes. Okay. Okay, addition. Okay, be careful. So you are adding what? Adding what plus what? Right? So X plus 12 plus X. Okay, the common mistake that people make is only say 12 plus X is equal to 182. Okay, not X plus 12 plus X. Okay, and then they get totally different answer. Okay, so together means both, yes, which means sum of their earnings. So it's X plus 12 plus X, which is equal to 182. And now can we solve this equation? Yeah, so what do you do?
You're going to have like terms.
So what do you get?
The what was F equals 182 minus 12.
Right? So that's 2x, yes, plus 12 is equal to 182, and then move plus 12 to the other side by subtraction. So you get 2x is equal to 182 minus 12, 170. Okay. And then divide by 2. So now we get 170 over 2. Let's see what happens when we divide. So 170 divided by 2. So what do you have? 8, and then 16, and 10, 5. So 85. Okay, so 85. Are we done? Because we solved for X. No. Why? Because go back to the problem. What do you have to find? Find the amount each person has made, yes. But what does 85 mean? Who's earning? Daughters, right? Okay, so 85 is daughters. And now, so this is daughters. How do you find Alex's earning? Add 12, yes. Okay, that's what we have here, right? 12 plus x. So 12 plus 85, which is equal to what, 97? Okay, so the answer is the daughter has earned $85, and then Alex herself has earned $97. Okay, so that is the answer. So what do you notice here? We just insert one more unknown and it has a whole lot of steps. Okay, so finding the value of x is not enough. You have to plug in that value into the expression to get the number for the second unknown. Okay, be careful. That's why this section is hard. Okay, so on Thursday, we are gonna pick up from here, which we have about 4 more problems to go. And then my Zoom, I guess, person. So you're gonna take your third quiz Thursday, and then we will go back to chapter 10, and then we'll this time go in order. Okay, so sign in on Canvas, Parker, and I'll see you on Thursday with the quiz. And for